Hello, Thompson Tigers, and welcome to your first recap for the observation drawing unit. Artists observe. So the reason why we're doing this unit is that observation is an incredibly useful skill that goes way beyond the art classroom into every aspect of your daily life. Observation is a super important skill to have for any career you decide to go into, as well as a useful skill for building relationships with the people around you and just being present in the world. So, for each class, we do a warm up game, an observation game that will not make the recap. You'll have to come to class for that. But once we finish with our warm up, day one, we are beginning to just practice. Now, it's important to remember when you're doing observation drawing, there's a lot of hand eye coordination involved. And observation is a brain skill that does require practice to get good at. So, we're going to start out where we are, but through practice, we're going to get up to where we want to be. So please don't waste emotional energy judging your drawings early on. Okay, it's like the free throw analogy. Somebody can explain it to you perfectly, they can model it to you perfectly, but until you stand on that line and shoot and miss and shoot and miss, and then start making those baskets and then start making them more frequently, and then eventually you can step up to the line and just shoot a free throw. Same thing applies to drawing. Okay, so with that in mind, we will get started. If you head to your Google Classroom, you will see under classwork, scroll down to Artists Observe, there's a material called Contour Line Drawings Zoom. So you'll see I've attached a Padlet, and this is what we used for class. Now, beginning observation drawing, we're going to use our hand as a prop, okay, because it's pretty accessible for most of you. And it's also something that at the beginning of the year you guys told me was very challenging for you to draw, that you lacked confidence and needed some practice on drawing hands. So that's what we're going to start with. Now, it's important to remember when you're going into observational drawing that you want to avoid schema. Now, a schema is a picture in your head of what something ought to look like. So an example would be the house schema. It's a quick little symbol for a house that you draw, but it doesn't necessarily look like a specific house. Same thing for the tree schema and the good old stick figure schema. Schemas are pictures in your head of the way things ought to look, and they're quick, memorized drawings, but they don't require any careful looking or observation. So we want to eliminate the schemas, forget what something ought to look like, and focus on really seeing what it is. Okay, so for our warm-up, we're going to do a blind contour resting hand. Now, a blind contour is kind of fun and a little challenging because you are going to draw looking at your hand, but not looking at your paper. So what you do is you pick a point on your hand with your eyes, and then with your eyes, you follow along the details of your hand. And when your eye moves over a bump or a wrinkle or changes direction, your hand on your paper is going to bump, wrinkle, or change direction with it. So you're going to have to draw by feel rather than by sight. Now, the drawing is not going to look extremely accurate, but this does wake up your brain in a totally different way. So I want you to try a blind contour drawing of a resting hand. And when you're ready, you can hit the plus sign under that column on the Padlet, type your name, type your hour, and then hit this little camera icon. It's going to bring up the camera, and you can snap a photo of what I'm sure will be a very wonky drawing of a hand and save it to the Padlet. All right. Stay tuned for part 2.